Hello, and welcome back to Curlington Stories. And if you're new here, welcome to you too. Today we're going to be talking about stories involving pets, specifically dogs, and some people that just either A, don't really like dogs, or B, think it's totally normal to sell someone else's dog for your own gain. I know, that second one's a little bit difficult to believe. Imagine you're put in that scenario where you commission one of your family members to watch after your beloved pet as you go and travel or something along those lines, just to return to find out that your dog has allegedly gone missing, and the carer of your beloved animal has no idea what happened to them. And you later find out that they in fact sold your dog because they needed money for whatever reason. How would you respond to this? Would you then steal their dog and keep it for yourself? Well, that's what this original poster has done, so I'd be very curious to see what you guys think about this. In addition to that, the first story involves some people that just cannot stand the sight of a dog, and as such, can't stand to be around their friends who bring their dog everywhere they go. Let's get into it. Am I the asshole for leaving when our friends brought their dog to dinner? Throwaway, friend knows my main account. I, 27M, planned a night out with my fiance, 28F, and our friends, late 20s, at a trendy restaurant near where we live. Back info, we aren't dog people. I've had girlfriends and relationships with me over the fact I don't want a dog. And the topic of pets, my current spouse is very compatible. They just aren't our thing, and our friends know this about us. Like, we aren't the type to pet them at all. A key part of the story, nearly every restaurant has patios that are dog friendly, while indoors is not. It's nearly impossible to find non-pet friendly patios. Our friends, however, are now pet people. They got a dog over COVID. They become the people that take it everywhere with them. My fiance and I do hang out with them, less because of it. We showed up about 10 minutes early for our reservation. I intended to eat indoors. Turns out our friends beat us here. We were led to a patio table and see they brought their dog. I say, no, I'm not doing this. What are you thinking bringing that? Fiance and I went inside to see if the bar had any seats, and my buddy chased us down, explains a dog sitter fell through, and the dog would just lay there and not bother us. I don't care, mentioned not sure why they need a sitter, and we aren't spending our meal with the dog. Told him it's fucked up, you spring your dog on us. There were no bar seats, so fiance and I decided to leave. My buddy said I'm an asshole. I told him I'm not spending time with your dog. We'll figure something else out to go. I got text saying how fucked up what we did was. Am I the asshole here? So people are mixed about this, and it's pretty obvious why. Most people are extremely biased. I personally like dogs and most animals, so I have no issue eating near a dog. However, I'm not the original poster here. The original poster has made it clear they do not like dogs, they don't like being around them, and they don't want to eat near them. This person, their friend, still brought their dog despite this, despite them creating a very abundant boundary, and people are allowed to have their boundaries. If you don't like someone smoking, for instance, and they decide to smoke where you're eating, people wouldn't even bat an eye if you decided, I'm going to leave this situation because I don't want to be near someone smoking. Now, people can have their long lists of reasons as to why they might not like dogs. It could be how they smell. It could be them being noisy. Maybe they're allergic. It doesn't really matter, but if somebody makes it clear to you that they don't want to be around something and you decide to bring that thing to them, regardless if it's an animal, if it's a drug, if it's alcohol, if it's a smelly food, you're violating their boundary. And that's the core of this. That's the essence of this. Regardless of what it is, it doesn't matter. So what the friends should have done preemptively is said, hey, we can't get a sitter and we're not comfortable leaving our dog at home. Do you still want to get dinner with us if we bring our dog? And the friends could have politely declined, saying, no, that's not going to work with us. Sorry. And that's fine. Respecting people's boundaries is more important than how you feel towards a particular thing. Now, a lot of people are just upset saying, oh yeah, this person's an asshole because they don't want to be around a dog. That's kind of ridiculous, don't you think? To think someone's an asshole because they don't like something that you like. That's what this boils down to. Because somebody doesn't want to be around something that you're comfortable or like being around doesn't make them an asshole. That's silly. Would this be different if it was a snake? A lot of people don't like snakes. A lot of people don't want to be around snakes. A lot of people are afraid of snakes. Some people think the snake represents the devil. So if this was a scenario where you're like, oh, I really don't like snakes, I'm terrified of them, could you please not bring your snake around me? And they decide to bring their snake around you, and the person's like, okay, I'm not going to be here, I'm leaving. Most people would probably be on the side of the people that left because they can relate in the sense that they don't like to be around snakes either. That's some people. Now, some people might argue, well, snakes are dangerous. Okay, well, this is the most docile snake in the world. There are plenty of snakes that are extremely docile that won't hurt you, just like a dog. So there really is no difference here. Plus, a dog could hurt you too. It's not like all dogs are just completely harmless. And you don't know if this dog was like a serious yapper or something like that, and they are extremely annoyed by the sound of dogs barking, and that's okay if they are. You're not an asshole if you're annoyed by something that annoys you. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we're gonna look at some of these comments, because like I said, they're very, also I'm kind of bummed because I realized I totally forgot to do like the full screen that I normally do when I talk about the topic. So just kind of ignore that, I guess. It's already happened, the damage is done. But so one of the top comments is, you're the asshole. Why would a dog being near you inconvenience you at all and see friends less because of it? Why are you so weird? You're the asshole to cancel plans, throw a fit over something so small, grow up. And again, you could literally apply that logic to anything that's something, you know, someone doesn't like the examples I already gave, like smoking, snakes, vaping, alcohol. You know, people are entitled to have their own boundaries, and not wanting to be around those things that you don't want to be around is perfectly acceptable. It's kind of ridiculous when people think that just because you disagree with something that somebody doesn't like, that they're an asshole. Like, it's just ridiculous in my opinion. This person saying it's weird behavior, like phobia behavior. Not liking dogs means not interacting with them. Throwing this temper tantrum is obnoxious. Nobody indicated that it was a temper tantrum. They simply said, we don't want to be around the dog, so we're going to eat inside. And when there was no option for them to eat inside, they left. That's not really a temper tantrum. That's respecting your own boundaries and adhering to them for your own personal preferences, which is okay. First, I think it's totally fine for original poster to have this boundary. Original poster may view dogs as obnoxious or scary, and depending on his life experience, that might be totally valid. Maybe he was attacked by one as a kid, or maybe he was around one that begged for food all the time, or jumped and slobbered, or shed all over people. Given that his friends knew this was a firm boundary for him, I think it was wrong of them to just show up with the dog and ignore his boundary, rather than telling him they'd have to bring the dog with them. I love dogs and babies and non-venomous snake spiders. I cheerfully eat dinner next to any of the above. But I knew a friend really found it hard to be around my toddler or tarantula or whatever. I wouldn't bring them to dinner with that friend unannounced. However much I love them and consider them to be well-behaved and inoffensive. Like, this is just a stupid comment. I don't like curry, but I don't throw a fit and leave a restaurant because my friend orders it. And again, the consensus for this is actually not the asshole, surprisingly, despite how mixed the opinions seem to be. Original poster doesn't like dogs, that's fine. Original poster doesn't want to be around dogs, that's also fine. Original poster doesn't want to eat in the presence of dogs, again, that's fine. Original poster's friends know how original poster feels about dogs. Friends decided that their feelings on the matter are worth less than their own. The original poster's not the asshole. I love animals, dogs are awesome. That said, I find people that bring their dogs with them everywhere to be assholes. Why? Because not everyone likes dogs. I love my dog to death, but if I had a friend that didn't like dogs, guess what? I'm not going to force that friend to be around my dog. First off, this person's comment is completely useless. They said if original poster was eating on a dog-friendly patio, there could have easily been other dogs there, so a dog just being in his presence seems to be a problem, and that, in my opinion, is a problematic thing. I get he doesn't like dogs, but a dog sitting on the patio should not be a big deal. Again, that's your opinion, has nothing to do with their boundary or how they feel about being around the animal, so you don't get to just push that on them and how they get to feel about it. And they wanted to eat inside. They made it very clear that that was their intention, but their friends beat them there and requested the patio. So this comment is completely worthless. Anyway, that's really all I got for this one. Let me know what you guys think. This is surprisingly a heated topic. I don't know why it's so divisive. I don't get why people just can't respect other people's boundaries. And if somebody breaches your boundary, you have every right to remove yourself from that situation of said breach boundary and not be judged because you don't want that. You know, somebody said, I really don't like being around guns, and somebody brings a gun. Like, would you consider them an asshole for seeing themselves out of that situation? Most likely not. This is no different. Now moving on. Am I the asshole for taking my sister's dog after she gave my puppy away? I know the title sounds goofy. You may think I'm the bad guy here, but I, 24F, had a 6-month-old male greyhound pup that I named Goose. I'd always wanted a greyhound and was excited. I was planning on visiting another state with a few girlfriends of mine for only a week. I needed someone to watch Goose. My sister May, 32F, offered to watch him and I told her I would send her emergency money for Goose, for food, toys, and whatever he needs. She agreed and my niece, 7F, loves Goose. So I thought everything was great. I went on my travel with my girlfriends and it was lovely and great, but on the last day, May called to say that Goose ran off and she can't find him. I was very devastated when I heard that, so I came home from my travel a bit more early to see if I can find Goose, but I couldn't. I asked May how he got out. She told me she just let him out so he can stretch his legs. After 20 minutes, she went to go get him to see he wasn't in her backyard. She panicked, and that's when she called me. For a while, I was just depressed. All my friends tried to cheer me up. It helped a little while, but my best friend Cora found on Facebook a picture of a small family with my dog, Goose. It was one of my niece's friends. So I hurried on and contacted them to tell them that was my missing dog, Goose, if I could have him back. They said no, and that May said I didn't want him. I begged and said he is under my name and chipped, and I never said I didn't want him. It was all false. I was at another state for vacation. May was supposed to watch him, not give him away. I told them I would pay them however much just so I can have him back. They just blocked me. I went over to May, and when she opened the door, I freaked out at her, demanding her to tell me why she gave away Goose. She said that wasn't true, that he ran off. I told her to cut the crap and tell me the truth after I showed her the pictures and messages. She told me she needed the money for my niece, that the money they needed was more important than a dumb dog. So I barged into her house and took her dog, Daisy. She yelled at me that I can't take Daisy. I told her that since she gave my pup away, I can take hers, since my mental health is more important than a dumb dog. I said she better get Goose back or I will take legal actions. I left with Daisy, now sitting at home wondering if I am the asshole. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't take their dog just because I'm not a very spiteful or vengeful person. That I don't think they're necessarily an asshole overall. Taking the dog is kind of a crazy move. Like, I get why they did it, and I'm not gonna judge them for it. I'm just straight up not judging them for it. You know, like, I know theft is wrong, even if it's because somebody stole from you. You know, to steal from them afterwards isn't exactly justice. You know, two wrongs don't make a right sort of deal. But I'm not going to judge them. Regarding everything else, no, absolutely not. The asshole. I can't believe this person would just sell your dog to get money for themselves because they don't value your dog. Like, first off, it's not your dog to value in any sort of regard. You don't get to put a price tag, a value tag on someone else's pet. That is ridiculous. The fact that this idea even crossed this person's mind is baffling. Like, what is going through this person's head on a daily basis? Like, I want to know. And even though this is her own family, I think threatening legal action might be the best move. I mean, I don't know exactly what she needed the money for, but maybe she could have asked her sister. Maybe if it was that important that her niece needed something, maybe she could have helped you out instead of just stealing from her. Like, what the fuck is that? Communicate. You're 32 years old with a child and you don't know how to communicate. Like, what is this? Now, obviously, there's no guarantee that her sister would have helped her out, but maybe it could have been a nice little, like, hey, I helped you, can you help me sort of thing. I imagine she probably didn't sell the dog for much more than maybe a couple $100 at the most, if I were to guess. I doubt she sold this dog to a friend of hers for thousands. You know, a couple $100. Maybe she could have helped with that. Who knows? Or she could have found other means of getting whatever it was that she needed for her daughter, which I don't know. They don't say. But clearly it must have been so important that she felt desperate enough to sell her own sister's animal and then lie about it. That is extremely scummy, manipulative, evil behavior. And I have little to no sympathy for her. My sympathy is just for whatever, you know, was important enough for that child that she would go out and do something so heinous. So no, not the asshole in this scenario. But I'm curious what you guys think. Please let me know in the comment section below. Till next time.